been watching the show, you know that the show that I've been talking about for weeks. It's my favorite reality show, Average Joe 2 Hawaii. And our first guest today, she is the star of the show. Take a look at her on a date with Brian, the last Average Joe standing.
Going to sushi was a chance for Brian to kind of get to see something that I like to do.
Get the seat for you.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sushi is part of Larissa's world. I would never eat raw fish. I mean, if my buddies and I were together and one of the guys said, let's go get some sushi, I'd say, get out of here. You know, let's go get a burger.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
As bad as you thought it would be?
Mm-mm. It's good.
I have to admit, I liked it. It went down easy. I was like, you know, this isn't so bad.
Brian Worth, the sushi man.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Please welcome Larissa, Meek. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I'm so excited because the finale is airing and we're finally going to get to know who you picked. I'm not going to ask because I know that you can't tell us, but it's finally down between, Brian and I forget, I have to check his name. I forget.
This is Gil.
This is Gil.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Brian is the guy from Boston. I can tilt it so you can see. Now, definitely two polar opposites. Hey, look at my chest. I like burgers. Now, with these two guys, what is it about each one of these that stood out to you?
Well, Brian is hilarious. He's got some of the best one-liners I've ever heard. He's so fun to be with, and I completely trust him, and he is, like, I know that he would treat me like a princess. Gil is really fun to be around, too, and this guy knows how to cook, and I have an excellent time with him as well. So they both have different qualities.
Okay. Now, I've got to ask you, because I've talked about the show so much. Now looking at you, and I know that you've heard this since you were 3, you are a beautiful woman. Absolutely beautiful. Now, walking down the street, if it weren't for this show, a gentleman like my friend right here who likes burgers from Boston, he would never catch your eye. Yes or no?
Well, I think it depends on the situation that you're in. I think a lot of times if any guy comes up to me, I'm usually, you know, just kind of like, sorry, gotta go. I don't know.
Right.
It's just something, you know, about that. But I think really the biggest thing that I learned is that you do need to give somebody a chance.
Absolutely.
That you can't base them just on that first impression, that there's always something more underneath.
Good for you. You know what I really liked is this last episode that I saw with Fredo. Did you know that he left because he saw you guys on the date?
I had no idea until like after the fact that was what happened, and you know I feel terrible that you know he was put in that position, and I'm sure anybody would have left if they saw the same thing. So.
Now I've heard about stalking, but he was on a sub. He was looking at he saw you. But now, do you feel weird about the fact that you're on a dating show, of course? Is it weird to kiss a few different guys?
You know, I might have pulled a Bob Guinea, and I kind of like...
you called it a Bob. That's great.
Yeah, you know, the new put in the dictionary. I think that, you know, kissing somebody says a lot about them, and, you know, the process for me was trying to figure out what I wanted, and so part of that process is being affectionate with somebody.
Absolutely.
So, you know, but I would never, like, do that in front of one of the other guys, and I've never dated all the guys that, like, live in the same house, so it's a very unique situation.
So knowing what you know now about the guys that you've all dismissed, and I have to say that out of the other dating shows I've seen, you were really cool the way that you told each of the guys that you wanted them to, well, to leave. I'm like, you didn't do it in the way that I've seen some of the other guys. You know what? I've got to let 3 of you go. See ya. You didn't do that, especially with some of my favorites like David Daskell.
I love David.
I really thought, see, I want to talk about David. We had David on the show. I thought, now I didn't know if you and David would have gotten together, but I really thought that David was going to make it to the end because it seemed that you guys had this weird chemistry, like you liked this skinny, freaky sideshow boy.
Well, David is from my hometown. He's from St. Louis, and we actually like know some common people, which is kind of weird. But the thing I love about David is that he embraces who he is, and he just always had a smile on his face, and he's always fun to be around. And when the new guys came in, he's like, you know what, I don't care. You know, he just always had such a positive attitude. It's a pleasure to just hang out with him.
He's a freak. David is an absolute freak.
He's fun. I think he's fun.
No, a freaky fun.
Freaky.
It's kind of like
right.
Freaky Friday, except it's fun.
Right.
I don't know what that meant, but I just said it. Had you ever dated a guy that you would consider an average Joe before the show?
I guess it depends on your definition of average. I mean, you know, what really makes somebody average? I don't know. I've dated guys that, you know, in high school I dated a guy that was much shorter than me. And I've dated all different kinds of guys. And I think that there really depends on getting to know somebody. So, I mean, ultimately the most important thing is having, I know as cliche as it sounds, but a good connection with them.
Well, I'm very impressed by the way that as the show went on after the initial shock, because after I saw the first episode, I was talking about you. Come on now, be honest. When that bus opened up and those guys walked out, you went, because each one was more staggeringly not Adonis-like than the one before them.
Well, yeah, I didn't have the most ladylike reaction. And
Well, you went upstairs cursing. I
Yeah.
laughed. What the? This is a joke. You did not put me with. What the? Where's the producers? Is this a joke? But I love the fact that your reaction was so honest. It was very honest.
I can't change it. I was definitely like covering my eyes watching it because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these guys are gonna hate me.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home. I'm not safe. They
My
think
little
I'm staying.
temper tantrum. But you know, I mean, the funny thing is, like seeing the whole group of them was a little overwhelming, and you know, getting to know them one-on-one, it was much easier.
Because one guy would have been enough, but the fact that they all came out. It was like that scene in the Lord of the Rings when all the orcs come at you, like, ah! It was a little odd. Now, overall, which group do you think, as a whole, personality-wise, aesthetics aside, which group do you think came across better, soul-wise and emotionally and even intelligence-wise, the hunks or the average Joes?
Well, I think both groups have different aspects, and on an individual basis, they each are very different. But I guess from my experience, I find that, you know, it's a lot easier talking to some of the average Joes, the first group of guys, that I had a lot in common with a lot of them. You know, especially Tony, which he's an amazing artist.
I was why'd you let Tony go? I was so, because you said he didn't have a sense of humor, but he had the zigzag. He had the weird gang signs on his face.
I love Tony. I think that he's such a creative guy, but the thing that kind of I realized is that all that we were talking about was art, and I felt like there needed to be a little bit more to that to me, and I kind of felt that rather than dragging things out, that it was better just to leave them where they were, and you know, instead of getting to the point and having it be harder later.
Good job.
I thought it was better to do it then.
So final question. Did you find the man that you want to be with on this show?
I have met an amazing guy, and we're kind of just waiting for things to slow down. We can't see each other in the public right now, and so, you know, it's kind of hard to really know, you know, without seeing somebody's complete life, meeting their family, seeing all their friends, you know. So I'm definitely very happy with who I chose.
Wow, well, I can't wait. Folks, remember to catch the finale of Average Joe 2 Hawaii tonight on NBC. Larissa, Meek,
I wish you the best on whoever you choose, sweetheart.
thank you. We'll be right back, folks.
Coming up, Move Over, Richard Simmons. Stay